Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at finding percentage of a quantity. It's actually remarkably simple to do. You simply write the percent as a fraction or a decimal and then multiply by the quantity. So we went through in a previous video how to convert a percent to a fraction or decimal. Remember, what we do is divide by 100. We take the percentage and divide it by 100. That'll give us a decimal or a fraction. Okay, so let's do 30% of 80. Well, 30% is the same as 30 over 100. That's what percent means. Per 100, it means a fraction whose denominator is 100. I can simplify this to make my calculation easier. So 30% is 3/10. Now we've learned earlier in the year of just means times. So this is just 30% times 80. We're just finding a fraction of a quantity, and we also did that previously in the year. So when we're multiplying a fraction by a whole number, write the whole number over 1. And let's see if we can cancel, if there's anything on the bottom and anything on the top that share a common factor. So of course, 10 goes into itself once and it goes into 88 times. This just makes the calculation simpler. Now it's just 3 times 8, which is 24. 30% of 80 is 24. Now note, when we're doing this, we're calculating a quantity. Our answer is 24. It's not 24%. We're not calculating a percent. We're calculating a quantity. All right, what about 72% of 125? So that is a little more tricky just because of the numbers. So 72% is 72 over 100. But I can simplify this because both numbers are divisible by 4. So what's 72 divided 4? Well, to divide by 4 quickly, you halve it, then halve it again. Half of 72 is 36. Half of 36 is 18. And hopefully you know by now, 100 divided by 4 is 25. So 72% and 18 over 25 are exactly the same. So how do I calculate 72% of 125? It's 72% of means times 125. Now, I don't want to sit here and do 18 times 125 without a calculator. That's going to take too long. So remember, when you're multiplying a fraction by a whole number, you write the whole number over 1 and you see if there is any number on the bottom and top that share a common factor. So of course 25 and 125 share a common factor. It's actually 25. 25 goes into itself once and it goes into 125 5 times. 125 divided by 25 is 5. Now this is so much simpler. I just do 18 times 5. Remember, quick way to times by 5 is you times it by 10 and halve it. 18 times 10 is 180, half of that is 90. And of course, 1 times 1 is just 1. So 18 times 5 is 90. 72% of 125 is 90. Not 90%, the answer is just 90. We're calculating a quantity. All right, let's now look at some worded problems. So, Canberra's population is approximately 432,000. 1% of the population was born in Queensland. How many people is this? This question is simply asking us to find 1% of 432,000. Don't let the big numbers scare you. This is a really simple calculation. 1% is 1 over 100. Of means times. So it's just 1 over 100 times 432,000. So this is a fraction of a quantity. Fraction of a quantity, write the whole number over 1 and see if there's anything on the bottom and anything on the top that share a common factor. Of course, both of these numbers are divisible by 100. 100 goes into itself once. To divide a whole number like this by 100, I can just cross off the last 2 zeros. That's what it means to divide by 100. So I'm just left with 1 times 4,320. Well, timesing by 1 doesn't change it. And on the bottom, I have 1 times 1 is just 1. It's just 4,320. That is 1% of the population, and we're done. All right, let's look at this question. 42% of students are girls, 400 students at a school. How many are boys? So if 42% of the students are girls, 58% are boys, because percentages need to add up to 100%. In a maths test, if you got 90% of questions correct, it means you got 10% of questions wrong. So 58% are boys. We need to find 58% of 400. So it might sound daunting without a calculator, but we're going to simplify it and make it easier. So 58% is just 58 over 100 of means times, and we have 400 there. So I can simplify this, but writing it like this will allow me to make an even easier simplification. You see, I can just write it as 400 over 1. 100 goes into itself once and goes into 400 4 times. This is just 58 times 4. So remember, to times by 4, you just double it and double it again. So double 58, you get 116. Double it again, you get 232. That's how many are boys. So it's 232 boys and 168 girls. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.